G'day guys, and welcome to the Iron Empire. In this episode, we turn the ugly duckling Dodge Dart into the ultimate ruddy muscle car. Alright, now we're going to get this dart on the ground. We're going to do this by putting a very small lowering block under here. But for now, we're going to move these shackles. These are going to come off and they're going to flip upside down, which is going to move the pin up 2 inches. 2 inches is going to go down. Yeah. You'll see the shackle is bolted there and there. So if you go through, undo those bolts, pull those out, undo the spring shackle, like pull that out and let that drop down like on the jack, and then do those, and you'll find that see the top ones, the top two are closer than the bottom. We have to just elongate 2 of the holes. Actually, I think we have to elongate all the holes, re-drill, remount, and then we're back in business.
All right, cool. Get it nice and wet like. Oh yeah. Yep.
Bolts out. Things lubed up. Shock's coming out.
Oh, she's dripping.
Ryan's rolling around doing all the dirty work.
No pry bar.
No pry bar. Using flimsy screwdrivers to do jobs they're not meant to do. We'll get there. Blown out muffler. Safety at the Iron Empire. Safety first. We're ready to elongate holes. So I got it out. Ready for reaming. Alright guys, so we are back in the shed and back onto the dart tonight. We thought we'd get stuck into it a little bit after dinner and see if we can get a little bit more progress. Where we left off with this thing, we got the thing sitting about 2 inches lower because we flipped the front leaf spring mount. And now it's a matter of getting it a touch lower and also correcting the pinion angle. Meanwhile, Andrea's getting stuck into the inside. We're going to just clean up what's in there, clean this seat up. The seat's going to get re-trimmed at a later date, but for now, we just want to get this thing back together and nice and clean so we can cruise around and get some Ks on it before we head off to Victoria. All right, so I'm just going through some old scrap lowering blocks that I had. Dug these out in preparation for getting this job done. And you actually see this one here that's a remnants of a lowering block that I used to lower the VG. I've done the VG the exact same way, and this basically, as you can see, having a wedge will correct the pinion. So at the moment, the front of the diff is pointing up towards the sky, basically, which is in turn bringing the tail shaft up towards the tunnel, and it's going to have way more chance of bottoming out, and you sort of want to correct that so it drives nice, it doesn't get any vibrations, all that sort of stuff. So we're going to cut these down. These ones here, I've cut them down into a wedge, getting the car a touch lower, and also gets the thing all running true. And I've also got some old Ubolts that I had from old projects. I think these were actually on my Dodge before I airbagged it. That's now got a 4-link in the rear end. So I had some spare U-bolts. I'm going to utilize those. This is going to be a total budget build. We use parts, leftovers if we can. This one is going to be a budget build, and we're going to have it looking really, really good. Alright guys, so it's the next day and I've been chipping away a little bit more with this car. I've got the last lowering block all cut to shape, cut to size, ready to rock and roll. The other one is already in. I've already test fit it and test fit this one. It is good. The only thing left to do now is resize these U-bolts. I have mentioned this in a video once before, but I'll show you all again. Very basic method to resize these because they're too wide. They won't sort of line up with the holes that are in the base plates on these. So basically it's a matter of using a vise and something to chock the ends from basically touching. So I'll show you the method. So you get your vise out, ready to roll. Put a chock of timber or something that fits, something close in there. Obviously a little bit smaller than the size that it already is. Give it a good reef. You'll see this tightening right up. Let it off. You'll see it's now a different size. And you fine tune it by hand. They do actually move. That's going to fit really well now. We can get this thing all buttoned up. Every time I drop it, it never looks as low as I think it's going to look. But I know it has to be at least 3 inches lower than it was before, which is good. I know that's exactly where I want it because I'm not doing any more of this. That's as low as it's going to get. This side sits actually lower. Look at this. All right, now onto the front. I'm going to get the front of this thing lowered in about 1:30. This is why every non-Mopar person should be jealous of Mopar people. 3/4 inch. And a ratchet, it's all you need. She lowered. A bit hard to tell when Jimmy sort of in, but I have probably dropped it an inch already. Seems to be handy. We're going to do something about that exhaust. G'day all, we are down at the workshop today, spraying up a set of wheels in preparation to throw on this dart. I've got the Dodge wheels here, which came on my old VJ Ute, and we've had them down at the blasters. The boys down there blasted them for me, got them all mint inside and out. They look really good. I'm going to give them a quick coat of black today before I head back up the hill tomorrow and get them on the car. I'm going to have to do a tyre swap, which I forgot about until just now. That's annoying. Get them on the car, center caps on the car, set of red walls. But for now, we're gonna get some color on these things, get them looking nice and mint. What better way to do it than over freshly blasted rims? Okay guys, so we are back up in my shed now and we are going to get stuck into this dart today. Hopefully today is the day that everything all comes together. The wheels and tyres are all sorted, ready to go. But before we put those on, more importantly, I need to get these bonnet scoops all prepared up and stuck on the bonnet because I want to go for a cruise today. So I've just been playing around with these aftermarket fiberglass replications of the twin snorkels that were available in these darts. Now, luckily the underside of the bonnet, whether they had scoops or not, did have the holes drilled in the bracing, which actually indicates where the scoops go. So with the help of a steel rule and a few measurements, I've got these things to pretty close to where I think they need to be. So now I need to tidy up a few little bits on these scoops, give them a coat of paint, and then we're going to use a panel bond to stick them on. Okay, so I'm at the fun part now where I've got to try and match this colour. I want to make them look like they've been on the car for a long time. So I'm going to try and match this rust. The tricky part of this is I do want to eventually probably do like a wax over this whole car, which will darken this right up. So as soon as you wet anything, it pretty much looks better. So we'll try and wet a section and you'll see how rich this comes up. So we're going to have to try and match it to that really rich dark colour in order to keep it looking dark. I don't have a wax or anything that I want to use just yet on it, but I'm going to use an adhesion promoter, which is used with painting. I use it for applying my colour to tyres when I do my red walls and stuff like that, but I do find that it does tend to leave it, give it a wet look. So I'm going to try and give it a coat of that and see how that comes up and see if it looks any better. Right, so I've got a pretty close colour to what I'm happy with. I'm going to use this as a base colour. This is only base coat, so usually you'd put clear down, but because of what we're going to do, I want this to go on really dry and look quite matte. So we get a bit of colour down and then we're just going to start getting creative. Now while those bonnet scoops dry, hopefully today, I'm going to get these wheels on now. Okay, so these have now been fitted up with the tyres that came off of the original rally rims that came with the car, thanks to Corey and the team at Bridgestone at Golden Grove. I'm going to throw these on the car. I've got a set of centre caps that need to polish up, but for now they're going to go on the car and I'll get some red walls on. Let's get more painting done. Okay, so I'm finally on the road in this thing and I am super nervous. For some reason this car has got me on edge more than any other car. Maybe it's just the unknown, hasn't really done any Ks in Australia, but I should be pretty confident because before I left today, I did finish up installing an odometer oil gauge and water temperature gauge, both mechanical, so I can keep a close eye on how this thing operates. So yeah, I'm on my first drive today, just heading down to Birdwood, so not a huge drive, but perfect day for it, not too hot, just want to get a few Ks on it, fill this thing up with fuel, and hopefully make it there and back in one go. Man, I am stoked with the outcome of this build. The ride height, cosmetically, it's nearly exactly where I want it. There's a couple of little fine details that I want to do, which you can all see on an upcoming episode. So for those who haven't, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave me a comment. Of course, check out the online store if that's of any interest to you. And I will see you all on an upcoming episode of the Iron Empire. Cheers, guys. I didn't think I was going to smoke. That was alright. That was pretty good.